We made it to episode 7.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't know how we did it. But guess what?
What?
She's returning.
She's returned. Returning.
She returns.
Returns. ...
library books. Wait, that's Scylla. Never mind.
I would also watch that.
So, me too.
Right.
So the title, as I just said, is She Returns, written by Eli, who's been here before. Sorry, Eli, about the name thing again. And also written by Sherry DeMaline, who is this is her first time writing anything, I suppose, but she's also a co-producer this season. And a good job, Sherry, for keeping Eli in check.
Yeah, thank you. We're not dead at the end of this episode from sadness, so thanks, Sherry.
Exactly. It's a balance thing. They were like, Eli, you're just killing everybody too much, so we got to balance it out.
Yeah, no more writing solo for you anymore.
Exactly. Also directed by David Frazee, who also directed 209. Another good episode.
Mm-hmm.
But let's open up with the brightest scene to ever live.
Seriously. This was so mean.
I was blinded. It's like, hey, Taylor, it's your first episode back. Guess what? We're going to blind you.
I know.
You had a traumatic brain injury? Here you go.
I know. After talking to her and she's explaining how, like, she was suffering from, like, sensory overload and stuff, they're like, we're going to give you the brightest spotlight ever. Like, poor Taylor. That must have, like, hurt.
It hurt me, and I don't even have any kind of brain injury, so...
I know. Like, Jesus Christ.
I recommend sunglasses for watching this scene.
Yeah, for real.
I will say it did make them super pretty, so there's that. Taylor's eyes were off the chain.
There's that. I mean, you look great. She's like dying in the corner.
You look great, but you're blind. So we start the scene with Raylla laying on a blanket in the middle of a field. Lovely green grass. It's beautiful everywhere. And there's some picnic stuff beside her. And Willa's off to the side being creepy.
Yep.
As per usual in the mycelium.
Yeah.
So Raylla wakes up and she seems nervous because Mommy Dearest is here and she's in a new place. She's been in the bedroom all this time and now she's out. And then Willa's being creepy, so I would be nervous too. Good on you, Ray. So apparently they used to have a picnic like this every Sunday when Willa was home, and that's why they're here. And she goes into convincing Raylla that it really is her. She's like, it's me, it's Mom. And Raylla's like, how can I know for sure? Because you've been creepy for a long time now.
And you're still being creepy right now.
You're still being creepy. Because I'll shoot straight with you. And I'm like, that's the wrong thing to say to Raylla. She's gay as hell.
Yeah. No.
This is my gay joke for the day. Willa says that Raylla's healed enough to be out in this field, or she can go back if she wants to. Meaning go back to the land outside of the mycelium / her life. So she has a choice. She can either stay and have endless picnics with her mom or go back to a terrible world full of fascist violence, but also, hey, her girlfriend. Also, the catch is if something happens to her out there, the mycelium won't be able to pull her back and heal her again. So basically, if she dies, she dies, she dies, she dies. Like, the mycelium can't pull her back if she's too sick to be healed out there.
Yeah.
Raylla's pretty much like, yeah, no, I gotta go back and help save the world. But Willa's not dumb. She's like, I know you gotta go back to your girlfriend. She's waited long enough. And at that point, I'm like, yeah, she has. So she's going insane out there with her dead animal menagerie. So please send Raylla back.
Also, like, Willa knows
So they have
how crazy it is for Scylla because, like, Scylla's been trying to call the mycelium this whole season, so she's like, I get it. Like, she's going nuts. Like, I know. She's going crazy.
I know, because I have to screen the calls.
Exactly.
She's the one that's pressing decline every 3 seconds.
Willa's the one answering the call, and she's like, this voicemail box is full.
Or she just deletes the voicemail altogether and is like, this user does not have a voicemail box that's been set up.
That's why Scylla has to keep changing her tactic, because Willa keeps like going like, enough of this.
So she's like changing her number, and Scylla keeps finding the number.
Yeah, exactly. And poor Scylla's like, why won't it work? And it's like Willa in the mycelium stopping the calls. Poor Scylla. What the fuck? Answer for your crimes, Willa.
She's getting gaslit by the mycelium.
Yeah. Some fucking queen necro you are, like, mycelium. Fuck you.
Yeah, like, the bestest necro that you've got out there, just be nice to her. I still understand why they couldn't have just brought Scylla. I mean, I do, because of the stuff and things. But anyway, and she was needed out there, whatever, blah, 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 plot. So, yeah. They hug and have their goodbyes. And then Willa tells Raylla that, oh, hey, by the way, the mother will call on you in the end. And then she mic drops out of there. And Raylla is just like in a darkness. Surrounded by darkness.
Because that's not traumatic. Like, why is Joey getting traumatized with her mom? Okay,
but why you go from the most lit scene in the world, and I don't mean that in this is a party place, to like the most dark place in the world?
The lit place in the mycelium is that party that's happening in Alder's cabin with the sheep herders.
Exactly. That's the lit place.
That's the lit place. This place is weirdly sunny.
That sheep herder. Listen, that's where the psychedelic mushrooms are.
Yeah, for real. Oh man. But yeah, I guess I don't know, like, what I'm sure there's some kind of symbolism there to start with, like, this pure, like, because it's almost like purity light, like sterile light, like clean, good, benevolent kind of lighting that's really extreme, and then it transitions into darkness. So I'm wondering if, like, I don't know, it's the mycelium trying to be like, see, Raylla, it's scary out there. Or it's like some symbolism of like, Raylla's really getting back in it and it's not as nice as it was with the mother kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, oh, hey, so this is your hanging out with your mom. This is the bright white light shit of the dead realm, and now go back to the darkness of the real world.
Yeah, but also, can we talk about how this is hinted at heavily through dialogue that this was Willa and Raylla's last scene together, and in no way, shape, or form did they get into any of their trauma at all, and it was just like, okay, bye, mom, forever. So right now, Raylla will never get closure with Willa. That was just confirmed yet again.
Why would they do that? They have to destroy us.
It's because Eli wrote this, so that checks out. Checks out.
Scene was definitely Eli.
For sure.
Calling you out, Eli.
We're always gonna call you out. But all right. So we move on from, like, Raylla is surrounded by darkness and figuring out her life. And we go back to the session where Thelma and her rebels are strategizing with Abigail, Adil, and Anacostia because the U.S. Army now is on their way because the president was like, yep, sign my order, go get them, guys, for justice or whatever. So, like, they're on their way, and the session rebels are preparing for that, along with our fugitives and Anacostia. And basically, the mission for the Bellwether group is to get the head marshal, because ultimately they need President Wade, because apparently she's the antidote for everything and they have to get her. But lo and behold, nobody can still track down the head marshal because he has a bunch of big witch energy and no one can fucking find him. And so Thelma is like, listen, well, all the marshals, like the junior marshals, are all connected to the head marshal. So, like, if you can talk to one of them, they can probably help you find him better than anybody else could, because they share this mental link. And it's like kind of like what the biddies had, but it's probably like cousin magic, but not the same thing. And so that's the strategy. They're going to try to find one to talk to the head marshal. And Thelma says, listen, I know where one of them is. If you go, I know where the Iroquois marshal is. He's stationed near the border, conveniently where the army's coming. So she's like, go over there, go find him, and then get your head marshal and President Wade by extension and just end the madness. So the, oh geez, I lost myself. Sorry, my notes don't make sense because I drank a lot of gin before I wrote them. Give me a second. All right. I don't know what this means. All right, so basically the Great River Council has called this emergency meeting, and Thelma has to go. Okay, so Thelma has to go to this meeting that the Great River Council is hosting now, because she's a member, and basically they don't know that the army's coming, and they kind of do, but they don't really know that she created this militia. So she's like, well, I gotta break that news to them because I did this illegally and without their consent. So I have to go deal with that because the session needs to essentially band together, and so she's gonna try to get them to join her cause versus being like, wow, you went against us kind of thing. So they're like, cool, Thelma, you go do that, and we're going to go get the head marshal. But first, apparently, we have to deal with Scylla, who's causing smell complaints in the house because of her dead animal collection. So, what a fun transition.
You for a second?
Oh, please do.
Because I have a what was Scylla doing off screen?
Do it.
So she's been tramping through the forest, picking up dead animal bodies and bringing them back, but having tea parties with them. So like everybody has a little teacup and
hat,
a little hat, and she just drinks the tea with them, and then like has conversations like, okay, Steve the raccoon, let's try again. Call the mycelium. You had your tea and your little cucumber sandwich. It's time to call the mycelium again. Let's go, Steve.
I love it.
You're welcome. Caitlin's shaking her head at me.
It's like very Alice in Wonderland-y if Alice was a Necro.
That's exactly how I imagined it.
Yeah, that's how I'm picturing
the same brain cell.
Come on, Caitlin, get on our level.
Yeah, Jesus, Caitlin. Lesbian Jesus, Caitlin.
Hydrate for Lesbian Jesus, Caitlin.
I'm trying to design you something nice. Leave me alone over here.
All right, so after that, we cut over to Scylla's room where she's surrounded by like dead animals after the tea party that Bree just explained. And Abigail and Anacostia go to check this shit out, and they are not impressed. Like, Anacostia won't even go into the room. She's so appalled by what's happening. And when it zooms in on the dead animals, you can see that there's like death cap spores that have been growing, but they're like very shriveled. They're not fully mature. And so like Scylla is obviously been trying to use her death cap seed, but it's not going well at all. Like she can't get a full one to grow. So it's driving her even more crazy than she already is. And that's manifesting in the scene, the way she slumped over the table, all that stuff. So Abigail's like, listen, you miss Raylla, we all miss Raylla, but like you gotta let this go right now because we have to do other things. Because like if we don't save the world, what the fuck is Raylla coming back to? Like we're all gonna be dead. So like we gotta go do other stuff. And so finally, Scylla gets another plot, and eventually agrees because unity, so that's what's happening.
Who gave Abigail the brain cell?
And, God. Well, it took 7 episodes for Abigail to get the brain cell, so good on you, Abigail. Well, I mean, is this not the shit she's been doing to Tally? But, like, she's like, enough of this. Like, we all miss her. Get over yourself. Like, but Scylla needed to hear this and, like, needed to do something else.
I feel like she was a little more kind with Scylla than she was with Tally. She just fucking shut Tally the fuck down. And with Scylla, she's like, look, I get it, but also we have stuff to do.
I think Abigail
I
also
feel like
knows...
it was a little more...
Go, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I think it was just a little more... She was a little more gentle with Scylla, and maybe it's because she wasn't as... I also think that she knows Scylla could kill her, so...
Yep, that's what I was going to say.
I like crazy right now.
I was going to say that, like, she can't boss Scylla around. She can boss Tally around, but not Scylla. And Scylla is losing her mind right now and would probably kill her with her dirty spree work. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, Anacostia was watching when he yelled at Abigail. Be like, Abigail, what the fuck?
That's true.
But before we move on, I love that you had a what was somebody doing off screen, because this is my what was Isadora doing off screen moment. So I think that in general, Isadora is attuned with the mycelium just in general. And so I think that, like, she's also affected by, like, what's happening, because, like, what Scylla's demonstrating in the scene is that, like, the mycelium still isn't functioning like it normally does. Like, Raylla may be healed because it was focusing its energy there, but it's not, like, necromagic isn't working that's connected to the mycelium isn't working the way it used to. So I imagine Isadora has stumbled upon this during one of her many tasks she's always doing. And I think back in the lab, she's freaking the fuck out and has, like, necros on this and is having issues teaching her necros basic necro stuff because, like, nothing works the way it should. So, like, poor Isadora is trying to, like, teach them stuff and it doesn't work. So she's just, like, flipping the fuck out. And the poor Necro's got a bad education this year is all I'm saying. And it's not Isadora's fault. It's just that the Necro world is not functioning right now. So I think that's what's happening in poor Necro world. Their education is suffering.
The mycelium isn't returning anyone's call.
No. And the Necros are like, I haven't done any dead stuff at all. Am I even a Necro? And they're having identity crises. Then they need counseling. It's not great for them. Which is why we don't see any of this.
Precisely. Exactly. Yeah. I also want to point out that the scene ends with Scylla saying, "What do you want me to do?" And then, like, they cut away, right? Well, here's my question. Number 1, how about you take your friends outside? That's what you can do first. Like, friends is in the dead animals.
To get them out of the house.
Did they just leave those in there?
Exactly. Right? And they're just like, fuck this. And then, like, the session people are like, what the hell? Like, we were complaining about this.
They're still in here. What are we doing? You take your dead animals when you go. I swear to God, these army people.
They're like, this is why we don't invite Necros to the house.
But it's so American of them to just leave the dead animals there.
I know. It would be. I get, like, that this is the world's on fire.
But, like, American, not like any other parts of the Americas American.
Mm-hmm.
Like America. Anyway, that was my one comment about that. They left the dead animals there. That's my headcanon. And we're going to go over to the Great River Council meeting. They're at Auntie's Community Center.
Auntie.
And she's trying to feed Thelma Wasna that she's homemade. Guess what? We're going to have a little lesson. Wasna has its roots in Lakota heritage from before Native Americans were put on reservations. It's a mixture of dried bison, elk, or deer meat with chokeberry patties bound together with fat from the animal. It was considered like a power food, so like something you could take on the go because it was preserved with the fat. and you could just eat it like while you were, galloping across the prairie or whatever, or traveling, whatever you want to do in your day, out hunting more bison. So yeah, it was like your goats. It was like the beef jerky of the time,
Yeah,
I suppose.
that's an
But you also had the nice berry component.
Yeah, nutrition.
So exactly, it was very nutritional. So Thelma isn't into the wasna because I think she makes this face like it smells bad, and I want to know if she can smell whatever Auntie put in it.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Spoiler alert. I wonder if everyone else ate it because they were being polite. And Thelma's like, fuck that. This smells weird.
Well, like, okay, here's the deal. My only note on this scene was that this was really a fucked up way to, like, poison people. Because culturally, like, that's, like, everyone's kryptonite. It's like, when somebody makes you food, you eat the food. You don't question it. You're just like, thank you, because it's like a peace offering. It's love. So, like, I feel like everybody probably did what Thelma did. We're like, this doesn't smell right, but you made it, so I'm going to eat it out of politeness.
Exactly. They were being polite, and they ate it anyway. And then they got them, and that got them into the situation they're in. So Millie, aka who we call Auntie, is not shooting straight, as Willow would say. And I'm not happy about it.
No, I don't like when anybody shoots straight. Personally.
Me either, actually. So basically, so Thelma's concerned about this place being secure because, the hotel was supposed to be secure, and look what happened there. I made a note about the community center they're in, and I'm never going to be able to pronounce it. I'm just going to say it's the Sioux Community Center. Auntie is like, chill, girl. I know it's like bad times and all, but it isn't that bad. And Thelma isn't buying that because, hey, shit keeps happening. There's a freaking traitor among us.
Marshall's
and
missing.
What is going on?
What the fuck?
Yeah, like they're about to be invaded.
It's not that bad.
She tries to get Thelma to eat the wasna one more time. And Thelma's just like, I'm good. Stop it. But when Auntie puts the plate of wasna down, she nods at her guard, and you're like, what is that about? Because at this point, we don't know what's going to happen. They kind of call the meeting to order, and Thelma's like, hey, wait a minute, there's something I need to tell you guys before we start this. Guess what? I've been building a militia for the past year, and I have another question. How old is Thelma?
Right?
Like, I don't know, I'm just curious. She's built a militia. She's had all this time to, like, she's probably, I mean, she strikes me as, like, the leader kind of this council.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of ways. I mean, I know it's like a collective, but she kind of leads the way in everything. But anyway, whatever. She's the most proactive of them. I'll say that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, some of the others don't even get speaking lines.
I know, like, no, some of them straight up don't speak at all. You're so right.
Yeah, and I'm like, why can't they even, like, say, okay, or...
You okay?
Yeah, like, no, they just nod.
Yeah.
And eat wasna.
Mm-hmm.
So, Auntie's mad and is like, do you want a war? I'm like, bitch, the war's already here. Auntie, stop being delusional. I can't remember her name. The one that we saw with President Wade.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
I keep wanting to call her Pauline, but I know that's not it. Whatever.
Is it?
One of the other council members is like willing to hear them.
Pauline Thrush?
It is Pauline.
Yeah, you're right.
Pauline Martin.
It is Pauline. Look at me go. Anyway, so Pauline is like, we're willing to hear you out. And that's like where it ends.
Yeah, so they're all about to get fucked because who can resist homemade food? Come on now. That was fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so...
Even if it smells like weird stuff.
I mean, yeah. You're still gonna eat it because love, you know? All right, so after Auntie shares her food with everybody, we shoot over to Tally, who is on her journey back from the matrifocal compound, shall we say. And she's in the back of a blue truck and traveling. And she notices at some point that they're going the wrong way or going a weird way. And so she's like trying to get the driver's attention, but the driver is straight up ignoring her. And she doesn't quite figure out why until we see a black bird leading the truck. And it's implied that...
Morgan!
Yeah, so this is what we saw from the trailer. So Scylla is using her bird magic to push or whatever the driver to get Tally to where she is located along with all the other Dodgers. So in the meantime, after leaving her dead rodents, Scylla found the Dodgers, amassed them at this other location, and now got Tally because they all have work to do now, guys, and they're gonna do it. And that's the scene.
My other note, I have two notes on this scene. One is Morgan in all caps, and the other one is, thank goodness Scylla's out of the taxidermy lab.
I am happy Scylla has a plot that isn't Raylla. It's an actual fucking plot where she's being Scylla and doing awesome shit and doing work again. Like, thank you, writers, for this. It was... She
even gives a pep talk this episode.
This is Scylla the leader.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so back at the border with Anacostia, Abigail, and the doormat, they're creeping up to...
It's like a Narnia book. You're like, Abigail, Anacostia, and the doormat. In Narnia. You know?
Narnia through the looking glass.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're creeping up and trying to talk to the junior marshal, and Anacostia tells Doormat and Abigail to stay out of sight while she goes to have a chit chat. And while we see Anacostia walk up to the border guards and the marshal, Abigail's like, I can feel the fear in the air. I'm like, okay, Abigail.
Yeah, sure. Whatever, Abigail. Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, and then we're going to go right back on to the council meeting where Thelma's apologizing for keeping the militia from everyone, but she's asking for their support for her army so that they can fight for their land and each other. Basically, we don't want to be recolonized. This is some bullshit. Support me and my army. I knew this was coming. But hey, guess what? Everybody passes out except for Auntie. And then Thelma gets whacked in the head by the guard that she nodded to earlier. But before she does get knocked out with a baton, which must have hurt, we see Thelma go, oh shit. I fucking love Thelma. I'm just going to say that if, like, a lot of times when you introduce a new character and it takes away somewhat from any of the plot in my mind, I get kind of upset because we have a shit ton of plot to get through anyway. But fucking Thelma, I love her. I'm so glad she's here.
Yeah, she's a really great addition, and they managed to flesh her out really well in the short amount of time we've had her. So she does fit well into everything just by the way they constructed her, the way the actress acts her, and like she's really great and already powerful, and Yeah, I agree with you. It doesn't feel like she was inserted for plot reasons. She just feels like naturally part of all of this already. It's really great. She's good.
Exactly. Yeah, like it could have. This is the most natural and most like Motherland feeling thing that because they'll slide things in and you in previous seasons maybe and you I don't know, it's just really natural. I love it. I love all the session stuff.
Agreed.
I wish we could have even had more session than we're gonna get, but whatever. So poor Thelma gets knocked out, and then we go back to the border where the junior marshal says that he's going to try to contact the head marshal because their link spans the entire session. So if he's in the session, he can find him. And right when they're about to talk more about that, an army Humvee and a transport truck approach, and the marshal is like, "Oh shit, what's going on?" And he has to go check it out. And that's the end of that scene.
Yeah. So basically, in summary, the Camarilla is now at the border. Abigail wants to fight them because that's all she knows how to do. Anacostia is like, listen, bitch, don't do that yet. This has to play out the way it needs to. And then we cut away. And like the junior marshal was going to try to help find the head marshal, but the fuckery is now happening at the border and he can't do that right now. End scene.
Insane. So yeah. Thelma wakes up and finds Millie, aka Auntie, standing over her and apologizing for knocking her out or having her knocked out.
How could you, like, Auntie?
If you'd only had some of my home cooking. And I'm like, yes, she'd still be passed out. So I say no on that. Yeah. So the Camarilla came to Auntie and asked if she would help them get into the session because only one of the council members can raise the wards over the border. And she agreed because her territory always gets cut out of the big mining projects and they have no good land on the water, and they promised their help in exchange for her betraying the council and letting them in. And they told her that they just want to come get the Bellwether unit and get out. And apparently she believed them.
Tisk.
She's never apparently read or seen any history, so whatever.
Right.
She's like, oh, they just want to get those damn girls and then they'll be gone. I lowered the wards. I'm not interested in being recolonized. But Thelma's like, you really think they're going to leave? Like, have you learned nothing? Like, obviously Thelma's younger than Auntie, but Thelma's the council member with the brain cell. So, whatever. Thelma's like, the treaty's broken. Everyone's in danger. And then Millie kind of seems to regret what she's done and maybe be like, okay, maybe I fucked up a little bit. And it's like, could you not realize that before? Because it's so obvious. The logic train did not stop in Auntie's brain.
No, Auntie missed her train at the station for sure. But you gotta love, I guess, like the realism here too, the way like the imperialists get their foot in the door by like praying essentially to like the infighting that goes on with like the indigenous people.
Yep.
Yeah, so yes, Auntie did not read history books because this is what happens in history books for sure. And like the more you talk about Thelma, the more it's almost, she almost reminds me of like Kalita, as the way like she almost has this wisdom that's beyond her years a bit. I wonder if that's cultural or just the character. I'm not sure, but either way, that was cool.
It'd be interesting. I kind of want a Thelma. I want a Thelma show.
Yes. Yes, a Thelma spinoff.
Can
Absolutely.
I have a Thelma spinoff?
Yes, give us session stuff.
I would watch the shit out of that.
Fuck yeah, she's super cool. Like early years, later years, all the Thelma years.
Like she's super cool, and I also get a really, really gay vibe from her. So
yes, queer energy radiates off her in waves. So it'd be an amazing show.
It would be. Just call it Bear Killer.
Okay. I love her line later where she uses her last name, but anyway.
I know. That was so fucking
Right?
clever.
I know, I love it.
Like, and she carries it off like it was so hot. Like her confidence. I was just like, she just owned that joke.
Yes, she did. It's the, you know what? It is the confidence. She's got that confidence thing. And she's also capable. So it's like.
Yes, she can back it up.
She can back it up, which is more of an attractive quality for that character. So.
It really is.
Killer.
Everybody.
Yes.
All right.
Was that it? My bad.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Sorry. All right, so back with Tally and Scylla. They're back at their house not their house. I don't know what this house is. A house with the Dodgers. I don't know what this house is. They're just
in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. And they're just like, oh, the Dodgers are all here. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But back there, Tally is staring straight up into space with her dirty spree work, while Mac and Scylla are like clearing the air with each other because like they didn't end on the best terms last time they were together. And you know what? Good for Scylla, because she deserves her redemption and with these people, because like at the end of the day, the fucking unit was the reason that Mac was mad at Scylla. So I'm glad they're on friendly terms again. And what's kind of reinforced here through Mac is that the Dodgers at the end of the day understand fighting the good fight and like helping out other witches in general, because like that's kind of their philosophy. Their philosophy was just, we don't want to be forced into fighting battles. We want to choose our battles kind of thing. So showing you a bit of like Dodger culture in this whole plot, which is really nice. And so basically right now, Mac and his crew of Dodgers are just committed to helping the Session in particular right now, because the Session witches have always looked out for them and offered them a safe haven when they needed it. So they're just like, we're paying it forward, like, you know, helping out a fellow witch kind of thing. And they also mention in the scene that Mac and the Dodgers have put out feelers for the Marshal as well, because it doesn't look like Abigail's version is going really well. So maybe this is how we'll track the Marshal in future episodes, like a Dodger, perhaps. And after Mac and Scylla come to peace with each other and talk about all that, Tally comes out of her vision. And much to Scylla's displeasure, it's not a vision about the Marshal, or Wade, because that's the goal, is to find them. But it's about the Great River Council, and they're in fucking danger, because we just saw that in the last scene. So, due to time and plot reasons, Tally and Scylla are going to be the ones that team up for this and bring the Dodgers with them. And Tally's super confident they can save the day, one battle at a time.
Hell yeah. Tally and Scylla mission. Yay! I've been waiting for them to have moments together, and I'm very happy that they did. I'd also like to point out that I'm not sure if it was in this, like, I'm not sure at what point this happened, but I thought it was funny that when Tally first arrived there, and Mac was like, she's all right, just don't let her near any rooftops. It's like, that was cute, Mac. I liked it.
Poor Tally. I wish she could have thrown an insult at Abigail and for not changing her face. That would have been nice.
Yes. Yeah. I do like that they talk about how the Session took the Dodgers in. That was very nice, because we really are getting a more full picture of the Session and how it works with witches seeking asylum. Like, I have a feeling the bell would, I mean, like, they wouldn't have even sent this is in my head, that's why Scylla, that's why Nicte could move around and they didn't give a shit. Yeah. They're like, whatever, you know, freedom of choice.
Exactly. I agree.
All right. So we're going to leave the Session and the United States and North America behind and go to Spain.
Ooh.
Madrid. So we're in Madrid at an antique shop, and this guy's in there. It's very gold and brown. It's a very golden brown scene because there's like all of this dark wood and antiques and gold statues and stuff. So Alder walks into this little shop and locks the door and switches the sign to closed while the guy is sitting there talking about how we're going to close in 10 minutes. He starts in Spanish and then switches to English for whatever goddamn reason.
That confused me so much.
I'm like, conversation in English.
Yeah. I was like, why is he speaking English in Spain? Or like, was that Alder's mother tongue brain translating it? I don't know, but
I imagine that Alder can speak Spanish, so
totally.
Whatever. I guess we just wanted to have this conversation in English.
I agree. Yeah,
but also why? But also they're like, well, it doesn't make sense for him to greet them in English, so we'll just have him speak Spanish at first. I'm like, okay, guys, whatever.
Sure, whatever.
Sure, I'll pass go and collect $200. He starts off by complimenting her, doing that dude afraid of a woman thing where he's like, a most beautiful woman has walked into my store. So such a dude thing to say.
But dude also pockets a knife before he does that. So he's like, I'm ready to murder, but let me like flatter you. It's so funny.
To be fair, if I were him, I would have done the same because he's a rotten, dirty bastard and people are probably coming for him from all like angles. I mean, I imagine that the Camarilla is not too happy with his defection, so he's kind of got enemies on all sides.
Oh, for sure.
So she says that she's looking for Santos, which he's Santos, obviously. She wants to locate an artifact, and then he immediately takes her down to his basement storage place, which if it wasn't Alder, I'd be like, don't go in the basement with the creepy man and a knife.
I know, seriously, that's like 101. Do not follow man to danger place. Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Come to my basement.
Yeah, I know. Don't ever follow a man into a basement. I don't care who the fuck he is.
Yeah, I don't care. No, I don't care if he is wearing a kerchief around his neck. Don't do it.
Got some class. No, nothing good happens in basements ever.
Oh. No, especially not when the camera pans as they're walking down to the basement and you see a picture of him next to Hurst.
Oh, I know.
In front of a private plane.
Like present day photo too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not like when they were younger. It's not that long ago. Yeah, I was like, when did this man actually defect? Yeah, exactly.
Just last year.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so if it wasn't Alder, that woman would be dead. But
yeah, she totally would. And also, I do like this storyline though.
100%.
I'll say that.
100%.
Because we get the history.
Yeah, I like the fact that they used a historian as one of the the avenues for Alder to go through. Because, yeah, we do get... It's a quick way to give us world building in, like, a short amount of time, which unfortunately was this season because of, like, everything. So it's very clever from a narrative perspective and world building, which Elliot usually does slowly, but, like, kind of crammed a lot into their scenes, basically, that enriched the whole story. So I agree with you there, for sure.
Yes.
Yes. So we're going to leave the creepy basement, but don't worry, we'll be back and go to the section for a minute. Because the angry white man is trying to recolonize the session right now with his quote-unquote peacekeeping force, which is the most propaganda language ever for Imperial military forces. Like, yeah, it's gross. We're gonna peacekeep with weapons. Like, okay. Fascism. Okay, sure. And as we heard from the session, the Great River Council, this Sergeant Grossman, essentially vocalizes the excuse, which is, we're here to get the fugitives. That's why we're here with our peacekeepers, to get the fugitives. And Junior Marshal is like, fuck no, and tries to hold them down from literally invading the session for as long as he can, but the angry white man ends up killing him in the end. And how does he do that? Well, turns out the windbreaker armor that they're wearing is made of the same material as those magical cage matches that Anacostia and Sterling were trapped in, and they can bounce back witches' work using the tech. And so that's what happened. Junior Marshal got knocked out with his own magic, and then angry white man stabbed him. So there we are. And of course, now that a witch has been killed, Abigail, once again, we pan back to Abigail, who's like, I need to fight because I'm a bellwether. And also Adil starts like getting bloodthirsty. Like, when did he become like this bloodthirsty vengeance person? Like, he's been a doormat for 6 episodes, and suddenly he's like, we need revenge right now. Like, weren't you a pacifist like 3 days ago? Like, what the fuck happened?
Thank you.
What the fuck was this? Is he just like a monster without Kalita? Like, what is this? Was weird. But still at this point, Anacostia is like, I get you're mad, but like, we have to stand down, because if we're visible, remember, you're one of the fugitives. We're gonna make things worse. You need to just cool it and just let things play out, because Mama Bellwether got this kind of thing.
Good lord.
Yeah.
I have one note on this scene, and it's gross.
Yeah. Fair.
It's my only note. Bleh.
Blah.
All right. So let's go to a way cuter scene. Everyone back at everyone with Tally and Scylla, everybody's in position and ready. Tally has looked into Tally Vision to see that all the guards are changing the changing of the guards is coming, basically. So then Scylla chooses, since they have a little bit of time, Scylla chooses to like go into, hey, you know, this is something that I think she came up with while she was staring at her menagerie. What if you had your vision back in the day and you saw us working together like we are right now? Would you believe it? And Tally's like, no, I don't think so, because I pretty much thought if we ever saw each other again that you'd murder me, or vice versa. And I'm like, let's be real, Tally, it wouldn't be you murdering her.
I know. I was like, what is this line, Tally? Come on, girl. You wouldn't. You'd turn her into the cops.
You're just trying to seem tough. Like, we...
Yeah.
No.
Tally's too precious for that.
No.
No.
Too precious. She couldn't kill the woman that Raylla loves. Come the fuck on. Or, you know, just no. So she takes this opportunity to give Scylla a panic attack by telling her that Raylla's gonna destroy the world. And I think Scylla like literally has a panic attack and falls back against the wall of the building.
Scylla
I love that it
has an
started off with
reaction,
Tally.
though.
Yeah, she does. I love it starts off with Tally's like, so I had a vision about Raylla, and Scylla's like, we're talking about Raylla, happy. And then it turns into, oh fuck. What the fuck? I can't even stand up now. But Tally says, we're going to find a way to stop it. And she calms Scylla down. And of course, that's the point at which it's time to infiltrate the situation. And the guards have changed. And that's the end.
Yeah. Cute bonding moment between the two of them. But also, like,
I want more.
I want more. I'm surprised it took this long between the two of them, to be honest. I thought they would have bonded like this sooner, to be like
Yeah.
when reading the two of them. Glad it happened on screen. And again, like, Scylla has an appropriate reaction to Tally's vision versus Abigail, who just tries to gaslight her and tell her she's crazy. So, Tally, you should have told Scylla a long time ago, you know? Anywho, but for now, we go back. For now, unfortunately, we're leaving that cute scene to go back to the basement. So, big tone shift. And at this point, they're actually in the basement, and Santos is essentially kind of naming off different things he has in this basement for Alder. And at this point, Alder's like, cut the crap. Like, I know who you are. And it calls him out for being an pontiff? I don't know.
Pontifex. It's actually a position that has its roots in Roman government. Started out as a religious position and kind of evolved into a political one.
Yeah. So
it's where the whole Roman, where the whole bishop thing comes from in the Catholic Church.
Yeah, exactly. So I was going to note, I thought she kind of calls him a historian, but it's a little bit more than that. So back in Roman times, well, Romans that were taken over by Christians, put it that way. At that time, this position was essentially a member of a council of priests. And so priests at the time in that era were kind of like the quote unquote historians, keepers of knowledge, and like the philosophers in like a theocracy. So basically, he was part of a group of people that was like entrusted with knowledge that like they would be the sole stewards of, that nobody else would see. And so I thought that was interesting because, like, you know, he probably has artifacts the world has never seen because they've kept them cloistered in this essentially like brotherhood or whatever. So very cool. It also tells you kind of like how old the Camarilla is, how far back they go, where their roots were. We know they came from kings, so like it gives you a little bit of their timeline, origins, and history by like having that word, exactly like you said. So she's like, cool, you know a bunch of ancient stuff based on what your position was in the Camarilla. Tell me about the first song, because that's Alder's plot. She's like, I need to know about this first song. And he's like, wow, okay, you're just jumping right to the top, tippy top of like the most secret thing I was in charge of keeping. And so he goes off to get this book that we'll see later. And as he's doing that, he starts giving her the sob story about how he was born into the Camarilla. So trying to like paint the picture here that like some people choose to be in the Camarilla, like now President Silver, versus others were born into it because again it's like this ancient thing. And so it would stand to reason that there's some people were just born into Camarilla families and then were born into these positions, and but he chose to leave it. So there's that.
There is that.
There's that. And Alder's still alive in this scene in the basement.
Listen, I want to peruse his collection, his evil collection of goodies.
For sure.
Just saying. It would be so interesting. I want to research his research. I want access to his books. But yeah, that's my only comment there. Santos, you had a choice. I guess it's good that you got out of it, but still, you did a lot of bad stuff, and I don't know. He doesn't seem like super genuinely repentant. He just seems like he's trying to save his own skin, period. Whatever.
Yep.
Let's go back to Adil / bloodthirsty doormat. So the douchebag in the armor clears out the army cadets, and Adil's just standing in the middle of the road, and he uses his earthwork to make a concrete wave that takes out the Humvee that the douchebag has sent to run him over. Then he faces off with Sergeant Douchebag, who orders the cadets to wind strike him, but Abigail uses the Tareem invisibility cloak to sneak up on the douchebag and break his neck. Just snaps his neck right there. Can't deny it. It's kind of hot. It's like, it's the first time all season I've been like, damn, Abigail.
I know, and also like about time Adil taught her some of his work. So that also happened off screen that we never saw. So
yeah, that's a big thing.
That's a big thing. Yeah, exactly. So what else did they share magic wise? Who knows?
Exactly. Besides awkward role play.
Oh, I said the role play wasn't magic. That was just awkward human shit.
Yeah, it really was.
Anyway, sorry.
So after she snaps his neck, she turns to the cadets. Cortez, who's popped up again at the front of these cadets, tells Abigail to run because there are troops, civilian troops coming behind them. And then Abigail's like, is it Abigail or Adil that tells them to release the guards? I can't remember. But Abigail gets on top of that overturned Humvee. Okay, that's what I thought. And she gives them like a pep talk / a rally speech about protecting the innocent at any cost and undermine Jarrett's objectives while maintaining a semblance of following orders. So basically reiterating everything Petra's already told them. Trying to be Petra Jr., I feel like. So the soldiers do the one stomp in response, and she tells them, "You are General Petra Bellwether soldiers, make her proud." And then they all stomp, 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 stomp.
I feel like Abigail's been waiting her whole life to do this.
She has. This is like her big moment.
She's like, there's a truck. I'm going to stand on that shit and rally soldiers.
Abigail was 90% less annoying this episode.
Well, it's like Abigail didn't know what to do until there was a war. That's it. That's what's been happening with her. She's like, oh, there's no war. I don't know how to live, basically, has been her plot. And now there's a war. She gets to be a soldier, and she suddenly knows what to do. This is her arena. So when there's peace, Abigail's not going to know what the fuck to do with herself. If there's peace. It's Motherland. That's probably accurate. Yeah, so yeah, she's finally in her element with her. Although I love the way she's just like defying Anacostia the whole time, but whatever. Anyway, so that's happening. Then we go back to the wherever the Great River Council people are, where Auntie is keeping everyone hostage, and she's monologuing to Thelma, which is, as a villain, Auntie, that's never good, and that never works out for anyone ever who's a villain. So that's foreshadowing this is going to be bad for her. And so, lo and behold, Tally and Scylla make their move now as she's monologuing like a villain and kick everyone's ass. And Auntie's like, well, fuck. And she escapes. And after they kick everyone's ass, Tally and Scylla release Thelma from the collar she was in. And then Thelma spills that, hey, it was the homemade food. It's poison. She tricked us with her generosity. And Scylla goes up to this food and starts doing a seed or whatever, and it seems like Isadora taught them some kind of like poison control like magic, because Scylla like gets it right away, and she's like, hey, it's poisoned. I think I can figure out how to counterspell this, but I'm gonna need like a hot minute for it to work. And Tally and Thelma are like, cool, we're gonna go get Auntie. So they split for the back door, and they end up cutting off Auntie and capturing her. And that's when Thelma gives us this great line where it's like, sometimes the bear killer kills you. Sometimes the bear killer kills everyone. I don't remember the line.
Sometimes you eat the bear.
There it is.
Sometimes you eat the bear, Millie. Sometimes the bear eats you.
Thank you, Thelma. It was great. But main point from this.
Tally's like, Tally was so fucking hot in that scene too. She's just like striding through there, all confident and shit.
Yeah. So big takeaway from this scene is with Tally throughout this whole operation of like when they infiltrate and when they get Auntie, Tally's using her dirty spree sight right now to predict the future. And in all of these instances, she's successfully intervening in what she saw without it backfiring immediately. Unlike the glass experiment we saw in the other episode, where she saw Adil break the glass, she intervened, Abigail later broke the glass. Here, every time she predicts what's going to happen, she intervenes and it's successful. So that's like the big takeaway from this whole scene, is that Tally's proving that she actually can intervene on her own visions.
Mm-hmm. There we have it.
And it's making her confident, and Tally needs that. Thank you, Tally. You're not doubting yourself. You're coming into your confidence and your strength and your dirty spray sight. And we like to see it.
Nobody's here to freaking gaslight you.
No, they're all supportive.
Finally
like Thelma
confiding in the right person.
Yeah, she's confiding in the right person, and then Thelma's also like, "Hell yeah, Tally, you got this!" Like she's being supported. Abigail.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so good to see.
Very good to see.
All right, let's go back to Spain.
Ooh,
Santos.
This scene. This scene.
Yeah, this scene.
This
Santos
scene.
has a book of the history of all of these lines, like that have passed down their piece of the first song, and he finds the two lines that Alder's looking for, and neither of them have a living steward. So the Abyssinian line has been lost entirely, and the Barakarim line was snuffed out centuries ago before the steward could pass it down. So he's like, unless you have a way to travel back in time, ding, 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 guess what? We kind of do. With dirty spree work.
Thanks, Nicte and Tally.
Mm-hmm. So we know where that's going.
Yep.
And he remembers all of a sudden that he has something that could help with this, and he goes over, opens a box to get a box. So there's a box in the box. The box he pulls out to give to Alder is silver and has this gold design on top. When she opens it, it plays part of the fragment of the first song from the extinct steward's line, and you can see like inside there's a contraption that seems to be like playing the vocal cords of that dead witch from centuries ago, which is super creepy and also kind of neat and also really gross. Like gross in the way that in the way that this fucking witch was murdered, and it's so morbid.
Yeah.
Santos says it's a souvenir of sorts from one of her descendants, and he says, I know it's a horrid custom, and he means taking out the vocal cords and preserving them like this. And he says one of his students became enamored with the possibilities and has revived it in a way. Guess what? Alder knows exactly who he's talking about. Mm-hmm. It's fucking Hurst.
Fuck you, Santos. This is all your fault, bitch.
Mm-hmm. And you can see Alder kind of getting more upset the more that Santos talks. And I'm like, this is not going to end well for you, buddy. He's like, that's all I know about the first song, I swear. And then Alder happens upon this big giant glass case that's been right beside her, and it's got a noose in it that's made out of rope. And the plaque on top says, Abigail Alder, sister of General Alder, was hung by this rope in 1692. Uh-oh. Alder gasps and obviously gets upset. Santos is backing away. He's like, oh, I forgot about that. What? Sir. Excuse? I think he just was hoping she wouldn't look at it, is what he was hoping.
Yeah, I think he was hoping a lot of things in this scene, that she wouldn't know who he really is, because he definitely knew who the fuck she was. And then he's
Absolutely.
like, oh, that thing I just have collecting dust of your dead sister. Like, you know? He's like, well, fuck. Glad to think I have this knife. Damn.
Yeah. So she tells him that it's fake, and he's all confused and is like, what? And she's like, I was there, remember? I saw the real one, and it was made out of braided leather. So the artifact that he has is fake. I wonder if he actually knew it was fake.
Yeah.
And
like,
he's
how
just
many
been
other
like,
things does he have that is fake that he doesn't know it's fake?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a question. She starts advancing on him and looking more agitated. And he takes his little letter opener / knife out of his sleeve and stabs her like an idiot. He doesn't even stab her in a place that would incapacitate her. He stabs her in like the abdomen.
It's so dumb.
Like,
it's so dumb.
It's so dumb.
Like, clearly, they don't teach everyone self-defense in the Camarilla.
No!
Like, he was clearly, like, the book guy, didn't know what the fuck he was doing, you know?
I mean, if you're gonna stab a really powerful witch somewhere with a knife, why wouldn't you just go for the throat?
It was a panic move. He didn't know what he was doing. But I'm with you. It was dumb.
He didn't. He has no fucking clue what he's doing. So she grunts a little bit, and then he pulls the knife out, and he drops to his knees and starts pleading for his life. He's talking about, I'm different now. And she's like, so am I. And then we cut to a shot of blood dripping onto the floor, and he's hanging from that noose, that fake noose, dead. And she's carved something into his chest with the knife / letter opener. I could not catch what it was.
Me neither.
Did anybody else?
I didn't. I couldn't figure
Right,
out.
so it wasn't just me.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm sure it was a symbol because it's Motherland, but I couldn't figure out what it was, to be honest.
If anybody else knows what it was, let us know.
Let us know. Because, like, what would Alder be carving on a body? It's fascinating. But, like, I love that Alder's pretty ruthless now. It's not... This is zero fucks Alder. You know? I love it. Love to see it.
Mm-hmm. She's no fucks in her garden.
No.
Just a shepherd.
She just got a shepherd. Alrighty, so back in the session, it's nighttime now, and Scylla is rallying the Dodgers and giving them a pump-up speech. And then...
It's so cute!
Yes, it's very cute. And again, this is Scylla being the leader. She always was. And afterwards, they go off to do non-lethal work on the incoming army because army witches are still witches. They're not choosing to be doing this. They're being forced to do whatever this is. And Dodgers get all that. So non-lethal stuff. So they go do that. And before Scylla goes off herself, she and Mac talk for like a hot second about Tiffany. Tiffany misses Scylla. Scylla misses Tiffany. And then they go off to do their thing. Then the army shows up with the angry white men, and the Dodgers enact their big plan. As the troops descend on this house, like, super slowly, because they don't want to be doing this, and angry white men yell at them, the Dodgers basically send Carl the Fog from San Francisco to cover all the witches. And then they break a bunch of bottles. So it's almost like spree work, too. And the work in the bottles pushes the witches to essentially recite the Salem Accord, which baffles the angry white men and also like stops whatever attack they were about to do for a minute while they keep like reciting it. That's it.
Yeah. I love the spree work. So Scylla must have like taught them the spree work and they put it it's like the witch version of Molotov cocktails.
Yeah, or she just did all
nicer
those bottles.
and less destructive.
Yeah, very clever. It's very the whole plan is very Scylla. It's very clever.
I love it. 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 All right, so Tally is moving the council members through the kitchen. And Millie is holding things up by apologizing and saying that she doesn't want to slow them down. They should just leave her behind. Stop. Auntie, just fucking stop. Which is basically what Thelma says. Shut up. You're coming with. I love Thelma. So Scylla comes in saying that they bought some time, but reinforcements are coming. And Tally sees with her special Tally vision a civilian commander approaching the east entrance and a unit of witches approaching the back. And she says, these are not cadets. They're special forces. And Thelma's like, it's all right. We can take them. We can fight this. And Tally's like, no, listen, like special forces, we're going to have to use lethal work. So we're going to have to kill witches, etc., etc. And Thelma's like, so be it. But Scylla's like, okay, there's another way. And this is the moment. This is the moment. Right here. Scylla says she's going to do what Raylla would do. And keep her friends safe no matter the cost. And then she tells Thelma that she needs her help. This is true Scylla redemption big witch energy ram sword. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, the next person that fucking calls her selfish, I'm gonna refer to this scene. So
honestly, there are so many other scenes, but this is the biggest one.
Yes, exactly. Outside, we see these special forces witches approaching the building, and then we see Scylla with Thelma's face, because she's still got her own clothes on, running from the special forces witches, and then she's wind-struck to the ground and captured. When they put the collar on her, her face returns to normal. And before this, the leader of the special forces unit was saying, you know, this is a council member, you know, go easy on her. And it's just, when it goes away and you see Scylla's face, she's like, congratulations, you just caught yourself an even bigger prize. And I'm like, is that what you say to Raylla?
Jesus. Hydrate for Lesbian Jesus, everyone.
And that's the end of the scene where Scylla sacrifices herself for everyone else.
Okay, so Scylla says that I'm a bigger prize, but is she? She's not a fugitive. She's not a council member. They don't really know who she is.
Technically, she is.
How?
They know who she is. Because she's fancy.
I said I love the line, but I was like, okay. They don't know who you are. Anyway. Alright, so after Scylla's...
but it's Scylla, so she is a bigger prize.
She's a bigger prize in general, but, like, she's not a fugitive, so the Camarilla don't really need her for, like, government reasons. She's not, like, a council member, so they can't use her to get session stuff. So, like, what's their advantage of having her? Like, for all they know, Rail's gone. How is she the bigger prize politically? I mean, yeah. Ew, you know what? The Camarilla doesn't deserve to look at Scylla. They deserve nothing.
No, they don't.
No,
I
they
love
don't.
that you're giving like all these logical arguments and I'm just screwing
I
with
know,
you.
you're not engaging. It's fine. All right. Anyway, so after that, we then go. So that was outside of this house. Then we go inside the house where Tally is all in her sight and cocky as fuck, lurking behind a wall and counting to herself silently 3, 2, 1. And when she gets to 1, one of the angry white men comes in the room. And she tries to like Vulcan grip this guy with her work, but the work backfires because of the windbreaker, and she collapses and like kind of passes out for like a second. And the army witches come around the corner, like I guess they were trailing behind this sergeant or whoever that was leading them. And one of them recognizes it's Tally. So this is the biggest prize because this is one of the fugitives they're actually here to get. And the witches are like, cool, we got her. Let's arrest her. Because remember, their orders from Petra are to like capture the fugitives and bring them back. But capturing the fugitives and bringing them back means that the Camarilla has to leave once they get the fugitives, and they don't want that. They want them at large so they can invade the session. So the angry white man's like, we're not bringing her back. We're going to kill her because she's quote unquote hostile, even though she's passed out on the floor. So he goes to stab her because apparently all they do is stab people in the Camarilla. And then at that moment, Raylla appears from the fungatory and kills the man with her mushroom powers. And of note, when Raylla emerges and Tally's coming to and kind of like sees Raylla for the first time, the first thing she sees is this like glowing golden light with this pulsing purple, like red blue light. So that's the same color of as the mycelium has right now when we saw earlier when like Alder was in front of it. So the mycelium is still in Raylla's heart kind of thing because that's where it was kind of located. And also it's the same color she saw in her witch bomb vision. So that's kind of significant and was probably triggering for Tally because it's like, oh crap, I saw this before and this is a little scary. Anyway, so after Raylla basically saves the day, she reunites with Tally. They have a cute moment, but Raylla, even though she's been healed by the mycelium and she's back in real life, she's still not like 100%. And what she just did took a lot out of her, and she like collapses almost immediately. And Tally's like kind of struggling to keep her up. And then Thelma comes in. They meet for like very briefly. She's like, "Oh, you're the one they keep talking about," and then like helps Tally kind of like carry her away. But while they're reuniting, Tally and Raylla talk, and Floridian slip. Raylla mentions that the way she got here to this particular place on Earth, because this isn't where Raylla was underground, she got here because she felt Scylla, I guess, through the mycelium or whatever, and that's how she ended up in this room. And if you think about it, it's pretty close to where Scylla actually is, because she's like physically outside on the other side of the wall, so like Raylla got pretty close, but ended up saving Tally. So that's interesting, and I wonder how Raylla was doing that. Was like that a Raylla power? Was that a mycelium facilitated power? Because Scylla can communicate through the mycelium. Either way, pretty interesting. And there's your title. She is back. She has risen.
Yeah.
Lesbian Jesus is back. It's Easter. This is Easter. Whatever day this is in Motherland is Easter.
So I really want to know more about that. So, like you said, is it a mycelium thing? Is it just Raylla? Or is it their connection? Is it because of, yeah, so is it the life and death thing? Curious. Anyway, put a pin in that. I want to see if we get any more explanation on it. But in the meantime, we're going to go to a diner and hang out with Anacostia and Louise. Except it's Louise's Nicte. And they have a little chat, and Anacostia, she's like, "So are you tourists? Blah, 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 whatever. Words. Anacostia says she needs a tune-up, and then she'll be out of here. The mechanic she was going to go to is closed down now, according to Nicte. So Anacostia puts some money down to cover her coffee and leaves. And then Nicte like knocks on the counter twice and then gets up and leaves too. But then every customer in the damn diner gets up and follows her out. Pourquoi?
Okay.
What is going on here?
Okay. I think I kind of have an idea of what's going on here. So, when Nicte fucked off...
lay it on us.
When Nicte fucked off to go to the escape the Great River Council, I think what she did, because remember, at the end of season 2, when we had OG Nicte talking to Petra right before they got on, like, the party senior citizen bus to, like, escape, they had that conversation, and she's, like, basically like, hey, listen, I'm... Oh, no, actually, no, I'm sorry. This is right after they fought Albin. And Nicte and Petra had that conversation, regardless, of basically like, hey, the army's not my enemy. It's the Camarilla. Like, I get that. And I think Nicte meant that when she said it. And so when she got away from the Great River Council kind of stuff, I think what she did is she went into the Spree network and was like warning them. She's like, hey, like doing what Willow was doing, where she's like, hey, the Camarilla, they're actually back. Like, we need to fight the Camarilla. Fuck the army. Like, we need to do this. So I think she's been gathering Spree cells. And so what this is signifying is that she met up with Anacostia. They have this almost like spy meeting where they're like, hey, and they start talking in code to each other and then leave. And then Nicte is basically acknowledging, like, okay, the Spree is going to help you. And so everybody leaving with Nicte is, like, Spree people. So she's gathered. Now the Spree is going to get into the fight. I think that's what this is.
You know what? You're damn right.
Thanks, Nicte.
Because there's that scene in the trailer, and they have another piece of it in the trailer for the next episode, where we see Nicte and like a little army of folks and her bats.
Yep, and she's talking to Anacostia. I think Anacostia is doing intelligence stuff, and she's like, who else can be our allies in this? You know, so we have the
Bree army is coming.
Yeah, so we have like Thelma's rebels of Session Witches. Now you have Nicte's Spree, who was always rebels, labeled as terrorists, who are like, hey, we've been rebels this whole fucking time. Let's work together. So I think they're trying to, and like, if they could also get Tally's mom's group, then you have the matrifocal rebels. And like, I think this is going to be the Earth and Sky thing, where it's like the unification of witches against the Camarilla thing. So I think that's what it's symbolizing. All these grassroots groups are coming together, kind of thing.
We love to see it.
We love to see it. This is going to be fun. It also means like we get to see different work. We get to see different cultures, different kinds of witches interacting. So it's fun from a storytelling perspective too. Again, very clever how they're kind of like weaving cultural stuff in the short scenes we're getting, like this one. Very cool. Alrighty, so after that, we go back to the Session Rebel headquarters, where Thelma is plotting with the Great River Council members and her militia. So basically, after Auntie's debacle, she got all of them on her side now, because the reason she went there is to be like, hey, I have this militia, I know it was illegal, but like, I knew the colonizers were coming back. And so all those members are there now, and they're like, okay, we're on your side now, we got it, let's fight, this is fucked up. And Abigail shows up and breaks the news to Thelma that, like, hey, the junior marshal you told us to go talk to, he's dead. And Adil, who's bloodthirsty for some reason, is like, yeah, Abigail killed the bastard that did it. Who is this guy? What's going on, Adil?
So not Adil.
No, it's so not Adil. It's his lines were like,
it's out of nowhere.
Yeah, his lines are super out of character this episode, but sure, why not? At least he's not a doormat and he has his own lines. So progress, I guess. And at the end of this whole we're so sorry thing, and Abigail kicked ass, they basically tell Thelma, hey, we're ready to ditch the army and join the resistance. We want to join you guys. And then they shake hands, like Abigail and Thelma, and it's like, who's in charge here? Like, did Abigail just agree to be like, hey, Thelma, I'm here to join your army and you're in charge of me? Or do we think that Abigail is going to be Abigail and, like, be in charge the next episode? Because
I don't know, but she has another thing coming if she thinks that she's going to be in charge of anything, because Thelma will not allow that. And I think Abigail knows that to some degree. And the way that she said, we'd like to join you, didn't sound, it sounded like she was saying, hey, can I join under you in your army? So I don't know if she's going to go back to being previous episodes Abigail, or if she's going to who the fuck knows.
I know. I literally everything you just said is what my brain went through when I saw that scene. I totally agree with you. It's just that they keep like sprinkling in these moments like Abigail on the truck to be like, remember, she's a leader, guys. So like, I just hope she doesn't steamroll Thelma, because Thelma is doing an amazing job, you know? And I think we have the best chance of winning if Thelma is in charge. I can't control the music, Caitlin.
I'd be more worried about her. I wouldn't be as worried about her steamrolling Thelma as I would be about her disagreeing with Thelma, getting in a fight with Thelma, trying to steamroll Thelma, not being able to because Thelma could kick her ass, and then going behind Thelma's back and ruining things that way.
The only thing that makes me hope that won't happen is I don't think they have time to do that in the show.
Exactly.
But yes, Abigail Bellwether would 1000% do all of those things. And it would be terrible. I'm with you. But hopefully there's not enough time and Abigail will just shut the fuck up and do what Thelma says, because Thelma does have a good handle on this militia. All right, cool. So after that happens, then Abigail reunites with Raylla finally, and they hug. There's an affectionate shitbird, and then Adil mentions out of nowhere, "Oh, Scylla was right all along. You were in the mycelium." I don't know why that's his line, but sure. And then Scylla, Raylla's like, "Scylla, where's Scylla? Where's Scylla? I was following the fields, and they brought me here, and I don't see her. What the fuck?" And Tally spills to everyone that basically, like, well, Scylla was sacrificed by leading the troops away, and she's now a prisoner of war. And then Abigail has a heart and assures Raylla that, listen, Scylla's part of Unity now, so we're going to do whatever it takes to get Scylla back. And this means a lot to Raylla because she's missed all of the bonding that's happened. So this must mean a lot to her. And then we get like a unit hug, like a really big unit hug between the three of them. And I love this scene because they're having a cute moment. Like, Tally's like kissing Raylla's head because she's so excited. And like Adil is awkwardly in the corner, like kicking dirt on the ground or something. I don't know what he's doing, but he's just like, okay, I'm just over here. So funny.
It's like he's trying not to look, but he's also smiling because it's a happy moment.
It's like he wants to join, but he can't.
Yeah, because he's not technically part of the unit. He's Abigail's doormat.
Yes.
He should probably just be laying on the floor underneath them while this is going on.
He should just go to Thelma and be like, do you need help with anything? I'm not needed.
Yeah, like, yeah, do you have some like crates of things that I can move around? I'm really good at that. Okay. It was very cute. I liked the whole unity thing. We finally got a shitbird this season. And yeah, on to the biggest Alder scene of the season.
Is this fanfiction already? Is this a fanfiction already? This scene? I swear some of their scenes together, they're like, what's on AO3 and how can we put this on the show? Because good lord, this scene, like, I was like, they're in the room in a closed door. What is happening? Tally's undressing. What is this scene?
Yeah, so we have tired Tally. She's tired from reuniting with Raylla and fighting and doing all that good stuff. She goes to her room and guess who the fuck's there? It's Alder. How long have you been waiting in the dark? Just hanging out there.
That's such a good question. That's so funny. She's like, oh, she does something that Raylla did. She's like, I can feel Tally. I feel Tally. She ends up in the wrong room because the mycelium's not good at this. And then she's like, fuck, I guess I gotta wait. Like, can't go back. Oh my god, that's so funny.
I think it was more like strategery. Like, I'm gonna be in Tally's bedroom when she comes down here.
I like that
That's
version
what
better.
it was.
Yeah.
Alder just wanted to be in Tally's bedroom. Anyway, so Tally's like, well, damn, you keep showing up like this. Hello there. So Alder's there to get Tally's help, but Tally's like, nope, can't help you. I'm busy trying to stop the end of the world via Raylla. So, super biz right now. Can't do anything for you, Alder. But Alder's like, listen, the only thing more powerful than the witch bomb is the first song, Tally. Wouldn't you like to find the last two pieces of the first song with me, Tally? And so the fact that this could help her stop the end of the world, and the fact that Alder's being Alder, makes her be like, okay, fine, let's go.
You all know Tally was an agree to whatever the hell came out of Alder's mouth, no matter what it was. She's like, go on a date around the world? Okay. Or the first song.
Okay.
We gotta get the first song. That's right. Yeah, first song. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she said. Mm-hmm.
I've never left America.
Oh no, I was hot. That's why I started taking off my clothes. That's all. It's getting hot in here. So take off all your clothes, right?
She does it immediately. She's like, I'm gonna start undressing even though Alder's in here. Is that okay? Talder stuff aside, who does this with their former boss? Like, isn't that weird on some level? Like, I don't know. I guess
I don't know. She grew up in the matrifocal compound. I don't think she's shy about just fucking throwing those clothes everywhere.
You're right.
Tally danced naked under the moonlight. So
it's true. Maybe they'll do that on their trip together. Who knows?
Who knows? So that was the Talder fanfiction that they inserted into this episode.
Gotten quite a few this season. It's been nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. So soak in all the sapphic feels from that scene that was happy and weird and awesome. Because we're going to go to a somewhat sapphic-coded scene, but that's also not as happy. So, what happened to Scylla? Well, Scylla got captured, and now she's sitting in the back of a transport van, and she's all shackled and got that bright red bigot collar on her right now. And she overhears two witch cadets, not angry white men, who are talking about the witch bomb they saw go off inside the house. And Scylla perks up immediately, like, witch bomb? That's my lady love. Where is she? What did you see, cadets? And the cadets tell Scylla that, well, we saw the witch bomb and we saw Raylla. I know her anywhere because she's been on TV for the past month. Everybody knows what their face looks like. And Scylla, after hearing that, is relieved for the very first time this season. Like physically, the relief washes over her. And but it's very short-lived because this is Motherland, and the cadets explain to Scylla, well, you shouldn't be super happy because you're about to head over to the witch version of a concentration camp, and you're not going to come back from this. It's not like your normal torture dungeon that you're familiar with, because at first Scylla's like, nah, I've been there, done that, but they're like, no, nobody comes out of this. Like, you're actually going to get killed where you're going. Like, they say they're going to interrogate you, but that's code for steal your vocal cords and kill you. So in the span of like 5 seconds, Scylla has to deal with the fact that Raylla's back finally, and she was like 10 feet away from her. But she sacrificed herself and now is headed to her actual death. And then you just see like reality start settling on her face. And it's kind of like, Raylla's back, great, but I'm gonna die. The end.
Yeah, like, I'll never get to see Raylla because I'll be dead.
But it's also
I won't get to return any library books.
It's also Scylla. It's just, I think part of it's like, well, the knowledge that Raylla, I was right all along, she was fine, and she is back, is a relief in and of itself. But then she's like, fuck, I'm never gonna get to see her, though. Shit.
Yep. Well, shit. Here we are. I know, like, it's really frustrating that they were that close to one another and missed each other. And I'd like to reiterate to everyone that this is episode 7. This was our torture. We got tortured.
Remember when we said who's gonna get tortured, and we're like, well, it's gonna be Scylla because it can't be Raylla. Boom, here it is.
There you go. Not only does she learn that Tally has seen a vision of Raylla ending the world, she gets captured by the bigot train, and is being taken to death.
Yeah, fuck you, writers. But also, this episode was really good overall as an episode. So
Yeah.
personally, I'm not mad they didn't reunite here. It's
I'm
fine.
not either. I think it actually worked really well for the plot. So I'm not mad about it.
I agree, and the sneak peek we got of the next episode when they possibly reunite looks amazing. So sure, whatever. That looks great. I'll take it. We'll get there. But it's not mad at this.
I like the little bit of angst that kind of comes with it. So
I love the angst.
Thumbs up to the angst.
Fuck yeah.
All right, so that was the last scene. It's super tortury scene to end on. Hi, Scylla realizes she's about to go to her death with Raylla, and Raylla was right there the whole, like, during that whole situation. So I want to say I gave my Big Witch Energy Award.
We got a recap.
Oh fuck! I put it at the wrong
place. That's not for so long right now.
What are you talking about? This? Oh yeah, we got to do your corner too.
I mean, we can cut it out.
No. We normally do recap Caitlin's corner, because recap is Caitlin wake up time. Then we do Caitlin's corner. Then it's the Big Witch Energy Awards.
Here's the thing.
We can change things, because who cares?
No. I had to put it in myself, so I got out of order.
I see. Oh yeah, I did forget to put that on the original one, because I copied and pasted. It wasn't in the notes originally, the outline, so I copied and pasted it from an old one, but it was before we did Caitlin's corner, so I'm sorry, that's my fault.
No, it's cool.
You have to put it in the outline, otherwise it won't happen.
Cut all that part out. Let's get into the...
I did the outline this time.
It's okay. We almost had it. It's cool.
Let's just go into the recap, right? Really bright scene with Willa and Raylla. She goes into the darkness and gets out. But hey, guess what? The mother's going to call on her in the end. Guess what? Scylla's has a menagerie of dead things. The militia is getting itself together and getting ready to fight because the invasion's coming. Thelma's got to go to a meeting. Guess what? It's at Auntie's community center, and she poisoned the Wasna to make all the council members pass out, except Thelma, who didn't eat the Wasna and gets a baton to the back of the skull. Yay, fun. Let's see. Tally is coming back from the matrifocal compound and gets redirected, meets up with Scylla and all of the Dodgers, including Mac, while Abigail and Anacostia and Adil go to communicate with the junior marshal, who can contact the senior marshal who is with Wade, because they still think Wade is the big answer to everything. So while the convoys hit the border and they don't have success getting in touch with the big marshal, we see the invasion force. The witches are all reluctant to actually do any bad things, but the horrible, awful civilian military people have those damn vests that reflect work. And he kills the marshal. Adil and Abigail end up taking him out. let's see. Tally sees that the council's in danger, aka Millie has betrayed them for land and money and contracts and all that good stuff. So they take the Dodgers and go to rescue the council. Alder's off in Madrid, finding Santos, the big Camarilla historian dude, who left the Camarilla but still has all of his precious antiquities. Guess what? He's still a douchebag. And
Also, quick point, I just realized. How did they let him keep that stuff? Like, if he was... Wouldn't somebody be at... Like, okay, if he left, like, legally, if there's a legal way to leave the camera, you'd think, as a historian, they'd be like, we gotta keep the history stuff because of reasons. If he left illegally, I feel like people would try to track him down, especially because of Albin talked about the first song, and if they knew he had stuff, I feel like this dude would be a target from the Camarilla, too.
yeah, either he left legally, or they don't know that he took the stuff, or they don't know that the stuff ever existed because he curated it and kept it to himself.
That would make more sense.
I figure that a lot of the Camarilla bigwigs would never venture into his territory. They just, all right, history guy, it's like Isadora. All right, history guy, do your thing and tell me what the results are.
Yeah, honestly, that's it. That's what it is. You're right. Thank you for clarifying.
Anytime. All right, so Santos is a dumbass, gives Alder the information she needs, that the lines have no modern stewards, but gives her the weird vocal cord music box with part of the first song. It's just like a really hard concept.
I know. What a tongue twister. Like the part of the first song.
Yeah.
You covered it well, but yeah.
Like a section of that steward's part of the first song. So then she murders him, because with the noose that is the fake Abigail Alder noose that he had in his collection and was proudly displaying, that he forgot about, in air quotes. So all of that, she got her information and she's out of there. Scylla and Tally and the Dodgers successfully sort of get the council rescued, get Thelma out, and then when the military arrives, they set everything up. Tally and Scylla have like a nice little moment, and Tally tells Scylla about her big end of the world vision, which Scylla has an appropriate reaction to. And then they get on with their saving the council business. All that goes down. Scylla sacrifices herself. When Raylla comes back and they miss each other by like 10 feet, it hurts. It's terrible. Raylla saves Tally, who got a little cocky. I know I'm forgetting something, but anyway. So Scylla's being shipped off to the interrogation center, which they call the slaughterhouse. The witches do, the army witches do, because no witch that goes in ever comes out alive. So basically they're going to kill Scylla, take her vocal cords, and use them. There you have it. Scylla realizes that she just missed Raylla, and she's about to be shipped off to die.
And there we are, folks.
There we are. And now it's time for Caitlin's Corner!
Yay!
Hello, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, Caitlin.
I don't know what's going on in my brain. I had things I was going to say, and then I just lost them.
All right.
Okay, the first thing is part of me just kind of wants to not edit anything in this episode and just put it out like how we filmed it, because wow, was this a shit show. But anyway, on to...
I'm with you on that. The audio. I have the OG intro. I might just put it in because all the audio like downloaded, but not the videos.
Who knows what's gonna happen?
This is gonna be a hot mess. Also, the music keeps getting worse. I'm gonna mute me a lot during this segment, but I support you, Caitlin.
Thank you. So enjoy. All right. So starting with the beginning, because we wouldn't start anywhere else. I wish Willa didn't guilt scare Raylla to stay. Like, I mean, she should be supportive of what she wants to do. I don't get it. It's so weird having the scene be so bright. It's not. It's just no. But I do love the transition from dreamy to ominous. So, like, everything's okay, and then... oh my god, I was about to say Willa. Just like, oh, these awful things, goodbye. And then, boom, fade to black. Well, not really, but you get it. And then Amalia has perfect acting when she flares. Okay. When she flares her nostrils after Abigail says something annoying again.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Go back and watch that.
It was right at the beginning. She's like she said something about like either stop contacting Raylla or like we have to go, and she just like gets so angry and her nostrils flare. And, like, you can just tell she's so pissed off at her. Where was I?
I love how pissed Scylla always gets, but she contains it so well that no one except someone who was actually knew her well would know that she was pissed.
I just don't understand how Abigail doesn't see that everyone's pissed at her. And then my next one says, yeah, she is part of the unit until you don't need her, Abigail. Treat people with respect if you want them with you. Tally looks so peaceful in the truck. I am glad she can get 5 seconds of peace. ... Notice that Abigail isn't there.
It's almost like there's a common denominator to everyone's happiness or something. I don't know.
I should note that I was more asleep when I wrote these than I am now. Okay, so when Tally's in the truck, they do the same thing that they did in the first scene. They went from light and dreamy to dark and ominous when Tally realizes that they went off the path. So if you notice the color change.
Oh shit, they did. What I love about that though, I love that you pointed that out, but both times like nothing bad happens at all. It's like okay, so with Raylla in the beginning, I was like, no, is Raylla trapped? No, she just leaves later, and then Tally's like, oh fuck, and then she goes to like the safe haven. So it's funny.
It's not physical, it's mental.
No, I know, but I just love it that it's like this fake out thing, and like it's like the best possible scenario happens to both the characters.
But also, they're so used to terrible things happening, so that's where their head is going.
You're so right. You're right. It's Motherland.
I know I'm right. Okay.
Fuck yeah.
I get very, very feisty and sarcastic when I'm tired. What was the What was the plate budget for this season? Did they spend more on plates or candles? Because I believe the plate breaks when they all pass out and after eating.
It does. The Wasna. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going with candles. Because the number of plates that have broken have been less than the number of... Because we had multiple scenes with a fuckload of candles.
But you did not see all the takes.
You're right.
They could do like 20-some takes.
You're right. No,
I still think...
They could be battery operated too, but I mean, if they were actual candles and lit, they would have to have a pyrotechnician on set.
Right, to light all those fucking... You're right. Probably the plates then.
Poor Tally 2.0. She shouldn't have to be there. It's just like the truck scene all over again, and I just hate it. I just want them to do what they think is right and not be ordered around by assholes. My next one is, I'm gonna say it exactly what I picture my head thinking. Why does it have to be Millie? There you go.
I'm with you on that. I think I texted, like, Auntie, what the fuck?
You did! And also, it actually makes sense that it was Auntie.
I know, but I still don't like it.
Jess posted something on Twitter about that, and I totally forgot that was her name, and I thought that Cadet Cortez's name was Millie for some reason, so I completely replied with the wrong tweet. I deleted it because I was like, yo, that was really stupid. So yeah, that's live tweeting when you have no idea what's going on. My next one is, does this count as Tally being possessed? We'll talk about that one later. Jess's eyes look pretty with orange glowy stuff. You're welcome. Let's be real. Tally and Scylla do all the work.
Thank you.
I just love my random lines here. Tally finally gets it. Forget Abigail. She's like, there's no time for Abigail.
Someone had to say it.
We can't deal with that shit right now. Okay. Tally finally... Oh, Lynn's hair is beautiful. Oh god, I love it so much. It's just, I love it. I love seeing Jess and Amalia play off each other.
Yes, it's beautiful.
They're really good. I love that we're getting to see new pairings. Scylla's... I have no idea what this means. Okay, Scylla's... Oh, okay, I got it. Alright. Had to process. Scylla's sweet face when Tally says she had a vision of Raylla. She was so hopeful. Tally,
she was, and then it was just like ruined.
Tally, you can't just drop that bomb on Scylla and then expect her to be ready to go right away and fight.
Oh, thank you. Oh my god.
She's like taking the Willa Collar course and like dropping bombs and then expecting
the next one.
Thank you.
The military dude isn't wrong. He is her plaything.
Yeah. True that.
Was it? Okay. Now I'm thinking I got this from fan fiction. When the hell did her sister name become Abigail? I thought it was Elizabeth this entire time.
No, it's always been Abigail.
It has?
Yeah.
I didn't know what her sister's name was either. I was like, oh, her name's Abigail? That's so weird.
I have never heard her name be... Why would her name be Abigail? There has to be something. Like, why is Abigail Bellwether and Abigail Alder the same name?
There's just a coincidence.
No, there has to be a reason. It can't just be a coincidence. And if it is, it's stupid.
People have the same name in real life.
No, I get that, but not in this show, okay?
Well, it could just be that Petra was like, hey, Abigail Alder, I'm going to name my kid Abigail.
Well, explain that then, because it makes no sense to have someone have the same name as a main character.
Caitlin, it's Motherland. They're not going to make it make sense.
I don't like fighting with you right now. Thank you, Theora.
Conspiracy theory. I'm here for all this conspiracy theory stuff.
I'm still on the name. I will... Okay. I feel like Alder went too far. I know you guys were all for her killing him, but I think... I mean, she didn't need to have to hang him.
She did, though, for poetic justice.
But no one wanted to see that either. I feel like that was my next line, too.
Yeah, I think she was just like super
Oh,
triggered by
yeah.
Camarilla stuff. I went too
Okay,
far.
so the
Well, I
whole
think
thing
the-
is. Go ahead.
No, you go.
My face looks so pissed off. I'm sorry. No, go ahead. What were you gonna
No,
say?
you go. I'm looking at something. Go ahead.
Okay. My whole my whole thing says, I feel like Alder went too far, and so did the production. I don't want to see people hung.
Yeah, because like I mean, it was definitely more gruesome than what we saw in like the pageant stuff with like when Abigail Alder got hung or whatever.
You
Yeah.
mean Michelle?
Yeah, Michelle, exactly. She's the best.
I love her.
Love her. But yeah, I don't know. Is it supposed to? Because like, remember too when Alder comes into that whole situation with him, she's like, "I'm different too." So it's like she's like,
That's what they're showing.
yeah. Like I'm wondering if like she's getting super extreme again. We've already seen Alder be extreme. I don't know. Maybe
But she
it ties
hasn't
into
been
that.
extreme in a violent way
Yeah.
like this. She's been extreme in
That's
a
true.
manipulative way.
You're
This
right.
is a different Alder in that she's not acting like behind the scenes with strategic manipulation. She's directly acting on her impulses to get revenge. So this is how she's different. For whatever reason, the mycelium, because she's come out different because of the way she's been acting. So I think that this is like a more human Alder. So like Alder's back in touch with her humanity, and she doesn't really know how to like deal with the triggers as much anymore.
Or what if it's like the CW and it's Sarah Lance's bloodlust all over again? That's where my head went, so that's what I said.
Why would you make us sad by bringing up the CW?
Sorry.
It's okay, but fair point.
Just saying. Alright. So this next one is a little bit of education. I can't tell if they have everyone saying the pledge thing in the field. And the only reason why they wouldn't was because extras get paid more if they have to say lines and if they get a name. So if they're like military person number 2, they don't have to get paid as much. But if they get Cadet Cortez, they get paid more.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I just said that's interesting. So if they didn't have the extras do it, then who do they get to do it to keep the cost down? Like, do they layer voices or?
Probably. I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting. You're probably right.
The way Olivia delivers the line, "Shut up, Millie, you're coming with us." I love her.
I know, I love her so much.
Oh my gosh, she's so great. I'm really happy that she is there.
Yes. Big giant kudos to Olivia.
This one. Raylla and Tally kill me in this scene. Whenever I see them cry, it makes me feel like I'm gonna cry. My next line was, Nicte is enjoying this Louise role a little too much.
Listen, she got stripped of everything else. Let her have this. Let her have this. Because like Thelma became the new Nicte character, so let her have her bats. It's fine.
I have no idea what the next point was. Maybe I will when I see the next point after it, but the next thing I wrote is, what the hell was that? I feel like that could be most of Motherland.
Break it down into where you are. So you saw the people leave with Nicte. Was it that?
Oh, probably.
Cool.
I forgot that happened.
Yeah.
Oh, I was not listening.
Well, you'll hear it when you're editing. Or not.
No, probably not.
Basically, it's symbolizing that Nicte has been rallying the spree this whole time. And so when she leaves, all these spree people leave with her to go with Anacostia. So the spree is joining the fight, like the rebel fight. That's what that is.
Okay, so I heard when Nicte pieced out or something like that, and then I stopped listening. So
That's fine.
Ashley has to bend down so much to hug Taylor.
It's adorable.
And so this made me think, like, did they have Taylor standing on apple boxes or something like the other 2 seasons? Because I swear we never saw this much of a height difference.
Yeah, absolute. It has to be.
Unless someone shrunk and someone grew really tall over a summer. And this is not 8th grade, so I don't think that happened. Oh wow, I did my next point without even reading it, so go me. The next one is Alder lovers unite. And Jess's face is perfect.
I love when you laugh at your own notes.
Me too, it's the best.
It's because I don't remember writing these things. And I know how I said it in my head when I wrote it. And it's going to take everything in me to get this out. Oh, I just read the second half.
I can't wait for this now.
Wait. Sorry, I'm working on it. I'm going to just go for it. Just do it. All right, I'm fine. Yeah, Tally, take it off. Dot. I'm gonna regret writing this later.
No regrets is perfect.
Oh my gosh. I'm dead. Okay, they're really trusting this first song thing.
I know. Like they're trusting
Right.
Wade to fix everything.
They're putting all their eggs in that basket.
Like, no one's ever actually heard the first song, right? Like, no one was actually alive then, not even Alder.
No.
Okay, but let me ask a question, because you've sung and stuff. Like, how long does it realistically take to get a group of 6 people together to sing something they've never sung before, like, perfectly? Like, it's not instantaneous, right? It's gotta take some time.
They gotta practice.
Right, so, like, realistically...
How long's the song?
We don't... Does anyone know how long this song is? If you had it, like, a minute or so, like, for every minute, how long would it take, practice-wise?
And are these people good at singing? Like, have they sung the lot before?
Well, I imagine
witches,
that
I'd
they're
imagine.
witches, so they do have some singing training.
I would say about 6 to 8 hours.
Well, fuck. That's not too bad for an apocalypse.
I mean, because I'm also not thinking that it's over. It's not like a 12-minute song.
I was just about to say a 12-minute song.
Get out of
She's
each other's
joined the brain
brains.
cell.
Wait, what?
I was going to
Oh.
say it's not a 12-minute song at the same time you were going to say it's not a 12-minute song. I was thinking it's more like a 6-minute song. So like a minute for each portion.
Gosh damn!
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
You try to be professional over here.
So hard. This whole episode was just professionalism at its finest.
This whole episode is a dumpster fire.
This is why we get paid nothing to do it. Except the
But-
change Anchor gives us.
Yeah, but if you go on Anchor, you can support us because I have opened listener support. Just saying.
If you want to support the dumpster fire.
If you, for some reason, are supporting us based on this episode, I love you with all of my
We're
heart.
lovable.
Mhm.
Come on. Like, look at us. And especially since I joined.
Exactly.
Oh, well, it's much better now that you joined. Let's be real.
Mhm.
Thank you, Caitlin.
I was going with like a minute and a half at most on this song. If it's a 6-minute song, you're gonna need a few days.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or-
so yeah, you're probably right. What do you think? Like, so we got 6. It's not important. We'll come to it later. We'll get to it later.
So
But either way, like, It's gonna take time to get
feel
this
like-
first song together, you know?
45 seconds. I mean, like, I don't know. Okay, and now my last one was producer education, which means I gotta flip some pages. Okay, so I went down a rabbit hole like a month or two ago about this because where are the producer notes? Hold on. Oh, there they are. Found them. We're good. So there was a producer who was really bugging me and I needed to figure it out. So if you notice, there are many, many different producer titles. And I'm going to go over 3 of them because for time's sake. And if they're relevant later, or if our lovely audience wants to learn more, and I just totally lost that train of thought. If you want to learn more, just let me know and I will say more, okay? And I'll try to be more put together than this. Executive producers, we're going to start there. Now, obviously, Elliot is an executive producer because he is the showrunner. He is the creator. He is the dude who kills us all in our sleep. Now, if you have not noticed, another executive producer is Will Ferrell. This was bugging me for so long. I'm like, what the hell does Will Ferrell have to do with this show? And so an executive producer is a show creator with prior writing credits, showrunners, head writers, head of a production company, or a long-term writer. The next note was bring up Will Ferrell, but I started with him. So basically, Will Ferrell has a production company that he started with, I believe it's Adam McKay, who's another executive producer. So that's why they're credited. But I dug down deep into this because I really wanted to know how involved. They have split their production company. And Will Ferrell has created a new one, so has Adam. They are still working on Motherland together, I guess. But that's their last project. Once this project's done, they're separated. But they seem to be doing. Now Will Ferrell is the head of a production company that focuses on female powered stories and centric. So, yeah. Motherland. Now, the whole reason that I brought up producer stuff is because of our lovely, lovely writer, Sherry. Now, this is her first writing credit, but she is credited as a co-producer through all of season 3. Which, once I tell you what a co-producer is, will make sense of why she's a writer right now. Now, co-producer may not have written the episode, but contributes significantly through table reads, discussions, and revisions. So I feel like she was probably most likely around helping a lot, and then she's like, you know what, I can do this, or like they wanted to give her a chance to step up and write an episode, which is why she is writing with Eli, our good friend Ellie. Sorry, I had to say it.
Theora's good friend Ellie.
Never live that.
That's fine. Shame me all you want. It's appropriate.
We will talk to Ellie one day. So yeah. And then because of that, I wanted to also bring up an associate producer, which serves any of the producer functions at the request of the showrunner. So, who do we think this is?
Cody?
Yeah, Cody. Cody is an associate producer and Elliot's assistant. And he was production staff at some point too. But this season he is associate producer. So I just thought that was cool. And if you want to learn more about that, just let me know. And I'll try to put my thoughts more together because I feel like this was a lot smarter when I was writing it down than I came across.
No, I thought you did a good job.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you for solving the Will Ferrell mystery. That's been driving me crazy since I saw the first episode of Motherland. I was like, isn't that Will Ferrell?
Me too. Yeah, me too. No, I looked it up and it was definitely Will Ferrell.
I love it.
Really debated contacting him for an interview.
God. He wouldn't know what's going on, but that'd be amazing for a lot of reasons. I love it.
I mean, sometimes can work miracles, but I don't know. And now this has only been 2 hours and almost 17 minutes of what we're filming right now. There's so much stuff in there that is either gotten cut out or you just watched our shit show, so who knows? But I wanted to see if people actually paid attention and actually got to my corner at all for my knowledge. So I wanted I wanted people to comment kookaburra without looking up the spelling if you made it this far in the comments. Or if you're listening to audio only, just write us a nice little review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you can write a review, because yeah, you love us, right? You want us to keep doing this? Then come on.
There you have it.
If you could somehow fit your organic spelling of the word kookaburra into the review, we may or may not send you merch, if that helps.
How would we contact them, Theora?
I don't know. DM one of us or something after you do it.
They don't even know we have merch yet.
Hydrate for Lesbian Jesus.
That is an announcement for later. Hydrate. I mean, they don't know we have that either. Theora's just spilling everything tonight.
Theora!
I'm not
Did you get into the gym again?
I'm not okay with those who read my fanfiction, you know.
Hey, your fanfiction is amazing. And if you haven't read it, you need to go read it.
I saw a screenshot today on Twitter.
Me too.
Of someone like freaking out about it, and I was like, "Yay, I know her! I'm so proud."
I see screenshots of your fanfiction because I'm like, I know her.
I'm so proud of her.
I like that that's your reaction. My reaction is, God damn it, you just ruined the best part.
Oh yeah. I get mad as well.
No. But
sure. I want to print out your fanfiction and make you autograph it.
Fuck yeah, man.
We could sell it.
I gotta finish it first.
Take it off. We'll sell it.
You will. You will.
Oh we're gonna go to a publishing company next.
We'll have you sign
all we
it.
gotta do is change the names.
No, I've thought about how to convert it into an actual story.
Which can happen. I can help you.
Yeah, that's for a different podcast.
Yes, because Bree is also our resident published author. That
legit,
who is also a YouTuber apparently. But that's another story for another day. We know we will have a podcast episode where we can just talk about things like this, and that's going to be the beauty. But that's also getting ahead of ourselves. So.
We're just spoiling everything. Listen, if you made it to all these spoilers, we love you. You're our target audience, and we love you, and we're family, and we're going to make it through this season and other things together.
Especially because we need to see the reuniting of Raylla.
Oh, you're back on Motherland. Okay.
Fuck yeah, we do.
Yeah. So...
More for the corner? Or is that the corner, Caitlin?
I'm excited for, I mean, it was the corner, but then you brought up Motherland and a reunion, but I'm really excited for the bed scene with the four of them, and it's
gonna be good. Big Witch Energy Award. Let's go around.
I want to predict that me and Bree picked the same person here.
Okay, well, do you want me to say mine first, or do you want to say yours first?
Let's Caitlin goes first.
Caitlin, go first.
Okay, well, I have a runner-up because when I was thinking of it, my runner-up is Thelma, and it's because I love her, and I know she's like this, but like I cheated. So my big witch energy. I was like, did I say the right one? I did. We're good. Another spoiler. Shit. My big witch energy ward. Why? You can't do that. You can't do that when I can hear it, okay? Sorry. Bree sent a message to a WhatsApp.
Don't pay attention to it. It's for Theora.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, my big witch
No, you got it.
Okay, my big witch energy award goes to Cravenhorn.
I picked half of Cravenhorn.
I picked half of Cravenhorn too.
Was it Scylla Big Witch Energy Ram's
It was
Horn?
Scylla Big Witch Energy Ram's Horn!
This
That's
episode
that's why I'm wearing my Scylla shirt tonight.
Just how the podcast
I
goes.
just like them working together, though.
I love them together. Honestly, my runner-up was going to be Tally. So I love that you.
That was my runner-up too.
And Thelma was an amazing choice, also.
Yes, she was.
See, I cheated so I could put Thelma in there.
We were spoiled for choice.
Yes, we really were. Honestly, this is like the first episode in a while where there's been like multiple contenders for the Big Witch Energy Award, and it's just like, again, this overall was a very strong episode, and all the plot lines were very strong and made the characters are very like independent and had their own confidence and power, like a lot of them. So yeah,
absolutely loved it.
Great episode. Yeah.
Is that why you think it was the old Motherland again?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Laura Neal Award.
I said all the men.
I said all the fucking civilian commanders.
Yeah.
I struggled with this one. So I said the people who tricked Millie into going on their side.
Oh, yes. We don't meet those, but I'm sure there were men, and we don't meet them.
Absolutely.
Great choice.
You know what also made this episode great? There was like no Silver, no Kara, no
Albin. A picture, but that doesn't count. But yeah, totally.
Does that mean the episodes suck when they're in it?
No, it just like it takes up I think it takes away from the actual main characters.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like in this, like the villains were just like so secondhand, kind of like they were there, but they weren't the focus. So that's why it was hard to like pick a person for the Laura Neal Award for me, at least.
Totally. Yeah, and that's a good thing. We don't want Laura Neal influencing stuff. So that's why this was a good episode, you know? The less she's involved, the better the world is.
I mean, it's not like we had a lack of evil. We had the evil there. We just... I mean, it could have been Santos. It could have been dude that got it could have been the specific sergeant that stabbed the marshal.
Yeah.
You know, I just gave it to all of them because they all suck equally.
Same.
I mean, that one guy was going to kill Tally straight out.
Yeah. Oh, no, that dude. Oh, my God. If he even laid a hand on her.
See, that should have been your Laura Neal Award.
I'm surprised you didn't pick him.
I'm sorry, you didn't bring that up quick enough, okay? That dude, not even look wrong at Tally, okay? Or you get my wrath.
There's the Tally Protection Squad.
There it is. There it is. So Caitlin did have a Laura Neal Award winner. It was the Nazi-looking dude that tried to touch Tally. Because fuck that guy.
Next episode.
Woo, next episode. So Raylla finally is happening, guys. We're finally getting it. Finally.
Think about all the fan fictions that are going to happen from this whole Scylla being chained up and Raylla coming to find her.
Don't they already exist like this?
Yes, but this specifically will be a situation from the show that is taken into fan fiction. Believe me, correct. I'm in a group chat with some friends who we all write fan fiction, and we've already got like 3 stories going about this. I'm
not surprised one bit by this.
Guys, it's 308. There's gonna be a lot of fan fiction for this, and like it's.
You know, listen, these are dark times where the sapphics are getting canceled and murdered left and right for no reason. So the next episode will be a win no matter what. It's a win.
Yes.
And there will be winning things that come out of it, which is what we're saying. So it's going to be good, guys. It's going to be great.
I'm really interested to see these frozen witches.
Yes. What the fuck? The frozen witches.
I think it's like stewards that have been preserved or some shit.
Yeah, they're going on like so Alder is going on their romantic honeymoon across into the tundra to do like anthropology, and like they're gonna wake up frozen witches. Holy shit!
That one that like grabs Tally's head though. That was crazy.
I bitch, I was asleep.
Yeah.
I have
Don't
no
wake me up.
idea what you're talking about.
The
I did not watch
trailer.
it. I didn't
Oh,
watch it.
So
I don't like to
spoilers.
watch this stuff.
Oh shit. So mute us now. Mute us.
No, it's okay. I won't remember.
Face off at the border. So you know from the trailer,
From the trailer.
we get to see all those scenes where the army witches are there and the Camarilla assholes are there, and there's like that face off with the what am I trying to say? The barrier. They've got the barrier up, and so this is when they're gonna do their surrendering whateverness. I'm guessing.
And I'm wondering too, now that we saw this episode, because remember, I mean, we got kind of an extended-ish version of what was in the trailer. When they're there at the border, they're in Carl's back. Carl the Fog is there. So I'm wondering if Dodgers are there too, because that seems to be their work.
Yep.
So I think that's going to be much more interesting than the clips we're getting, because it does look like there's more clips here too, where it looks like the witches are figuring out how to fight back against these windbreakers by essentially using magic to do elemental stuff like physical harm, or they, in this scene, they electrocute them. So like the witches are learning how to fight by not directly hitting them with work. So I wonder if that's going to be kind of like either it will be a big battle of a bunch of group of witches, or they surrender themselves to like stop the battle. That particular one. Yeah, exactly. Either way, there's definite fighting happening in the next scene. We also get that scene from the OG trailer where like army witches are getting windstruck, so it looks like the Camarilla are fighting against the army witches. So something bad happens with the actual army in the next episode. So it escalates super quick. And we get Silver being angry, which I love. So shit is not going well for them.
Where he's pissed off that things are not going like he wanted, because he thought that they were just going to sweep in and take over, and it was going to be done.
Yeah, he throws this little man
you
trip.
Cocky little ass shit.
I know, it's so not fair when you rig the system and it doesn't go your way. Like, I'm mad.
Bree, stop playing with whatever's on your desk.
This happens all the time, Caitlin. Let her play. I edit it out. It's okay.
It's so crackly. I can't.
I know.
Look,
I can give you the audio.
Ugh, just whatever. Keep going.
That's pretty much it.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much.
I have a question.
Oh, Nicte's bats, but you mentioned that earlier.
Nicte's bats, yes. Nicte's bats are coming.
And she's with Anacostia, so it does look like Anacostia is working with the spree now again. Yes, Caitlin.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing in my brain was, I'll be happy as long as Tally's there, so, like, it'll be great. But then my second thought was, do you think it's obvious who each of our favorite characters are?
Yes.
No bias at all in this podcast.
Well, we never said
we've definitely disclosed that. We've definitely disclosed it. Well, you have to disclose it. You're the only one that haven't.
Yeah.
I think they got it.
The very first episode, we said, like, if you don't like Scylla, don't listen to this podcast.
We've said multiple times we're biased about Scylla, and when Nicte came in, I gave a specific disclosure about Nicte. I was like, listen, it's over. My objectivity's gone.
Okay. Tally is my love. I love her, and she can do no wrong in my eyes.
We get that.
And yeah.
It's okay.
She's the best.
She is.
I think Tally's the safest do no wrong character you could have if you were going for one.
She is. And this was a great Tally episode. I'm glad she's.
It was.
It's a great Tally season.
Craven
really
Horn
is Craven Horn, yes. Finally,
I even like their name
finally. Ugh,
a lot.
I can't wait to see her with the brick wall. I know that was really random, but you said that she has chemistry with the brick wall.
Listen.
She does.
That's where
So what you should do is we should just have a whole scene where Jess talks to a brick wall for a minute.
She could.
Oh, and then the brick wall hugs her.
I'll tell you something afterwards.
Okay.
More mystery, guys.
All
just
right.
Something where my head went.
If you've made it this far,
if you made it to the actual end of the podcast,
you get our undying love, appreciation, and
A kookaburra.
a kookaburra,
Actual kookaburra.
and some info about Egyptian geese.
Egyptian geese!
Yes. If you want to know about Egyptian geese, we
You won't
promise
until
it's
next month.
related to the show somehow. Let us know.
I mean, technically, but
It is technically related. I'm not lying. Cool. So that's been episode 7, everyone. Thank you for coming on this
Just tweet
journey.
the words Egyptian geese at us.
And kookaburra. Don't Google it. Also, after you tweet at us, go listen to kookaburras make noise because it's pretty cool.
Yes.
They're fun birds. Anyway, we're not a bird podcast. We're not going to start one. So have a good night, everyone. We will see you next week.
Wonderful night, day, whatever it is where you are.
It is where you are.
Let's
This is a
convene
shit
for
show.
the Raylla reunion next week.
Yes, make sure you're plenty hydrated. You'll need to hydrate for episode 8.
yeah,
lot.
just everybody, no matter who you like, just do that.
Yeah. All the
Mhm.
shippers, hydrate for your lesbian Jesus.
No, there's only one lesbian Jesus. So like,
No.
Good. Just risen, Caitlin. All right, I'm ending this podcast now. Bye, everyone. And with that, we've been Big Witch Energy. If you like this episode, check out all of our other episodes right here on YouTube. Please like, comment below, and subscribe for more amazing content. Hydrate for Lesbian Jesus.